Yeah,
But I am now, Leslie. Thank you.
sure.
Thank you. Um, so, as if each person, the Dalai Lama himself describes his loving kindness practice in this way. He says, every person I meet, I treat as an old friend. That's his, and in some way, aren't they? Really? In some way, isn't everyone an old friend, whether you know them or you don't, or they're in your history or they're not? The new language that we considered on Tuesday for metta, which is often translated as loving kindness. Now we have added language like true friendship, friendliness. We're adding now the words and the idea of connection, connection, interconnection, interbeing, interdependent. We, of course, know, don't we, just having come through and still in a serious time here of the pandemic, that even in the epidemiology, we are interconnected and interdependent in a way that we actually have not been particularly open to confronting and addressing, and maybe still aren't, right? We're having waves in other areas. We're noticing in the economics and in the politic our feelings about giving vaccines to others and who should and who shouldn't. And it's not because I know these answers. This is not the point. And it's not because I'm looking for opinions about this perspective. I'm not mine and not yours. I am wanting you to recognize an essential, fundamental reality that if we are not all well, we cannot be well. And this is a part of the Bodhisattva path and its essential understanding. If you are not well, I cannot hope to be well by the realities of that interdependency, that interconnectedness, and that interbeing. So, this is another way of beginning to approach our metta practice with the reality of interconnection, interbeing, rather than some physical, saccharine, sweetened, false, or grafted nicety. Look at how we could diminish the reality so quickly by that fabrication. It is not necessary. It is not helpful, by the way, not helpful. Don't do it. And be watchful of your own core beliefs, something that comes from your history and your family's history that says kindness looks like this, kindness shows or acts like this. We understand its ultimate infinite nature. We do not buy into love only like this, love only these people, love only with those words, right? And then we can begin to examine, as I have been gifted the privilege of doing, we get to examine the limited, small, separate or disconnected realities that we buy into, like only like this, love like this. And the metta practice is really designed then to expand beyond any self concept, beyond any self description, beyond any self bias, beyond any conditions, really. This essential, interconnected, interdependent. And as a result, would we not wish then for our own and others' happiness, safety, ease, and well being? And the answer is, of course, you would, because ultimately, your well being and the survival of the world and the universe relies on it. Relies on it. Isn't it true? Yes, it is. I wanted to read this just tiny little poem today. This is for a 5-year-old. And as I have been thinking about Mother's Day and celebrating a 40th anniversary tomorrow, this history of connection, the history of working through, and also the realities. The reason this poem particularly struck me is the realities that in every moment of not metta, as is described here, we are learning also out of our own aggressions, out of our own ill will, out of our own hatred, out of our own confusion, out of our own greed. We also learn, if we are awake, where the benefits lie and where they do not, and that metta in this moment is all there is to propagate. Metta in this moment. All the moments before where you noticed it was and where you noticed it wasn't, as I often have, feeling very unworthy in some way, ultimately deeply of the metta practice. It has certainly gotten in my way. And that not only am I deserving of metta, my own and others, but you are as well. And I thought this mother spoke to this. So let's see what she has to say. For a 5-year-old, and I think that's all of us, a snail is climbing up the windowsill into your room after a night of rain. You call me in to see, and I explain that it would be unkind to leave it there. It might crawl to the floor. We must take care that no one squashes it. You understand and carry it outside with careful hand to eat a daffodil. I see then that a kind of faith prevails. Your gentleness is molded still by words from me, who have trapped mice and shot wild birds, from me, who drowned your kittens, who betrayed your closest relatives, and who purveyed the harshest kind of truth to many another. But that is how things are. I am your mother, and we are kind to snails. In this moment where it matters, we are kind. Let's see if we can work and propagate that kindness. And so we're going to find a way to establish our bodies so that the mind can rest. A body that's supported, a body that's upright, a body filled with that inner dignity, which is an essential beginning kindness towards yourself. Knowing your rightful place in this family of things that you are a part of. You are an essential reality in the wholeness, in the oneness. And we can even begin then to incline that kind attention towards oneself and this body. And may we do so for all beings everywhere without exception. Reflecting, remembering, knowing, feeling the reality of that interdependency, that interbeing. And in the practice, we awaken. And we breathe. And we connect ourselves, our whole open hearts, to the reality of that breath. That interchanging, exchanging breath we breathe. And so seeing if we can continue to hold the frame of the body as in a sky-like quality of mind rather than gripping or grabbing, that we create that open space in which the body can sit and be known and rest. The feet, the hands, the hips, may they be well. The back, shoulders, the arms, and the hands. Feeling in sensations of pulsing, of tingling, of numbness, of vibration, whatever is happening here. May we unconditionally wish, may this part of the body be well. The neck, the head, the face, and the throat, feeling, breathing into this part of the body. May the head, the neck, the throat, and the serene face, may it be well. And what does the offering mean? How do you connect your own breath and the attention and that open heart? Whatever has been true in any other moment before or after, we can invite that open heart here now. Chest, the lungs, the heart. May the upper torso be well. Breathing in, and as you breathe in, seeing how you make that offer. Is it a connection, a felt sense, a phrase? What activates that for you? The diaphragm, the belly, the intestines, the organs. May they be well. You can keep your eyes open or closed, but place the intention and the attention with kindness, with openness, being watchful about the limits that you place on that definition, that word, kindness. What does it mean? Can we greet? Can we open? Can we welcome? Can we abide this body as it is? And then the whole body. Metta is a gift. A gift that each of us is deserving of, no matter the conditions. What does that friendliness feel like for you? It, of course, requires an attention. And then what? This offering metta to oneself is one of the most difficult aspects of the practice. And from the essential instructions, it says, begin here always. Can you make contact with the breath, with metta? You can use the metronome, the rhythms of the breath itself in repeating essential phrases of kindness. And I encourage everyone to find their own. There is a resonance when we can make real contact. Not that language itself is the point, but it can be a condition. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I live with ease. And in today's practice for this week, we are just using the breath and one's open heartedness and one's attention, the three essential ingredients for the metta practice, to support us in the repetition. And so you're going to find one or two phrases, it's up to you. I'll be repeating varying ones just to give you ideas about them. But you can breathe it in on the in breath and the out breath. You can breathe it with the in and out breath. You can simply let the body breathe and pour and immerse yourself in this quality of heart mind. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I live with ease. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I remember my essential goodness. Just like in that poem, even with the reality of the contracted heart mind, part of the human condition. May I remember that I am deserving of this kindness. Of the reality of our interconnectedness, not out of the reality of my goodness, not because I've accomplished or successful. These are not the conditions. The conditions of our very humanness and the reality of its interconnectedness with all things. May I be well. finding a place within the breathscape where there is an aliveness of those genuine wishes. May I be free from suffering, free from afflictions, free from self-loathing, self-judgments. We can touch into the heart space if it's activated. But remember, we're not looking for it to come in a certain form. If it's available, it's good news. If it isn't, it's not a problem. Remember that the phrases are not something that necessarily happens automatically. It is in the lifting again and again that the strength is built, that the qualities are cultivated and held. So if you're going, gosh, I'm repeating these phrases and I'm not feeling, sensing, knowing anything, this is no concern at all. It is in the continuation, in conditions where we like it, in conditions where we don't, where we feel it and where we don't. This is the unconditionality. We continue the repetitions. And yes, there is a tendency, uh, and we use the phrases in this way to repeat phrases as it relates to the present moment. This is also appropriate, but it's not the practice today. We're just repeating the phrases, allowing the repetition itself to sink in a little more deeply, permeate the tissues of our resistance, of our unworthiness, of our disbelief, of our confusion. We just repeat the phrases. May I be happy. May I have ease. I use the breath itself to invite that reality, those phrases in to the tissues, into the cells, into the organs, into the muscle. This is a concentration practice. You will begin to see, just as you would with attention on the breath alone, you'll begin to see in a way that I think is useful what begins to happen for us. There's sometimes a distractibility or a fatigue, like, my gosh, how long do I do this? There can be a boredom. These are all points of resistance that it is lovely, really important then to offer the phrases to that very quality. Can I offer myself happiness and ease even in my distraction? And maybe especially. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I live with ease. Let the repetition itself hold you. Find its rhythm. Stay with the repetition. See what way you can best integrate the phrases so they're not just phrases, they're invitations, they're gifts. If you're just saying the words and deadening everything else, this will not be particularly useful. And so I repeat the phrase, I breathe it in, and I stay in contact for a few breaths, feeling the effects. There's no need to improve the phrase. The open heart is the whole point. So be watchful of looking for something better. This is a habit of mind. Commit yourself to the phrases you've selected. They are good enough. Feelings of unworthiness, feelings of guilt, feelings of I shouldn't be taking all of this for myself can arise. This is also good to know. Let's offer the phrases right to those old belief thoughts. But naturally will begin to happen, though, so that we don't mistake it with feelings of unworthiness, is there is an expanding element to the metta practice. And so, as you offer to yourself, immerse yourself, quench yourself, what happens naturally is that that heart of metta begins to expand. And so we can let the felt sense of metta move beyond the body, beyond the heart space, beyond this heart mind. And you can feel it begin to grow beyond the body, is and you can start to feel that sense of that field of metta. Like it's not just mine anyway. It's already in the space. I can feel it there. And then you can expand the attention and the metta to include that space as well. The size of the field is not important, it's the sense of space. And as we are offering these phrases to ourselves, we can begin to include aspects of experience. So I was just noticing a little stiff left neck and tight left shoulder. And what naturally happened is as I was repeating the phrases, I was focusing on that area, really making that offering, that gift to that part of the body. That'd be an example. Just happens naturally. It might be to those mind states, that distraction, that clarity, that ease. It might be to particular thoughts or feelings as they arise. We can offer the phrases to these aspects of experience, also interconnected, interdependent. It can be a simple phrase like, may these thoughts be well. May they be filled with loving kindness. May they live with ease. May these sensations be well. May this emotion, this worry, this confusion, this disappointment, this dread, may these feelings be filled with loving kindness. May they live with ease. We can offer loving kindness in the whole, in the parts. See how you can make contact with it. This is the expanding heart of metta. And as we offer this kindness, this care, this compassion, this love to ourselves, what naturally begins to happen. But I want you to truly wait for when it naturally arises. It is not to be grafted on again or not to be fabricated. What will happen is you'll just move out. That heart just opens outward. And my husband just came in with that gift of coffee, and those phrases just naturally turn towards him. And if that's not happening, there's no problem in that at all, because this is that true selfless exchange. What you offer yourself in its time will be extended to others. Let it be in its time. No ideas of right or wrong. May this heart be filled with loving kindness. May this heart live with ease. If you've lost contact, excuse me, with the breath, that might be okay if you're fully engaged in the phrases. And if you're noticing a distractibility, a wandering mind, if you're noticing a deadening, then go back, gather up the breath and the phrases together. you can let that field of metta grow in its own time as well. And know that everything within that field is also receiving the metta. I could feel it sort of fill the room. And I'm really sensing that everything within this space is also now imbued with metta. I have Juan, the gardener, working on the patio. I can feel that sense of inclusion. The plants and Juan filled with metta. And see if you notice any adjustments in the phrasing. Remember this, in the selfless exchange, there is no I or you. The pronoun is really not the point. But you just might notice a natural shift to may you be filled with loving kindness. May you live with ease. Or may we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all live with ease. Just see what happens naturally. And then with intention, we can begin to invite others into the field. And or we can also just open that field and see who arrives. Offering these same phrases to them. Just as I wish to be happy, may you be happy. The reality of our humanness, of our shared interconnectedness. People you like, people you know, people you don't like, people you don't know, animals, plants, minerals, the earth, the universe, filled with loving kindness. And then the felt sense that there is no limit, that it doesn't run out, that it's not finite or form based, that there's an inherent quality to the metta itself. It simply expands. That includes, that opens. May I be happy and have the causes for happiness. May you be happy. May they be happy. May we all be happy. May I be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May you be free from suffering. Who comes up with that pronoun you? May they be free from suffering. May we all be free from suffering. May I live with ease and well-being. May you live with ease and well-being. May they live with ease and well-being. May we all live with ease and well-being. And with the heart, mind, and body filled with metta, let's simply let the metta move in all directions. May all mothers be filled with loving kindness, and may they be happy. May they know they are loved. And may each person who has a mother be filled with loving kindness. And may they know they are loved. And may all be filled with loving kindness. And may all know they are loved. And may this practice today contribute so be it. Just enlivening the body, filled with loving kindness. And let that continue. So let's talk just for a minute. I have to leave a bit early. I have to get on to a Zoom commitment at right at 9 o'clock today. So I'm going to have to leave a few minutes early, but I also have a few announcements I want to make sure. So let's just talk for, let's say, 10 or so minutes about what your experience was of the practice, the repetitions in particular. Where do you see the obstacles, the blocks, the openings, the resistance, the falling open? It's all true. And how has this been working or not working for you? That's delicious. How's that going? Benefits to the repetition? Boring?
Hello.
Hi there, Marie. How are you? Good morning.
I'm good. Good morning. I am loving the repetitions. I have stuck with a phrase that I came up with on the very first day that we did this. And as is often the case, it's very easy to do this when things are going relatively well. And when I was in sort of an emotional meltdown the other night, one of my niece said, "Remember your loving kindness mantra." And I had completely forgotten about it, like I'd never heard of it in my entire life.
That's right. That's right.
And once I oh, that, and started doing it, it was very helpful.
Yes. Isn't it amazing? Do you know that mind has actually never heard the loving kindness mantra? That mind is the one that has stayed contracted or locked or right. And then when we remember, isn't this the beauty of it? It changes everything. It changes everything. It doesn't mean the conditions are magically different, right? This isn't magic. It just makes us open and available and to whatever's there, including that mind that forgets. Then we offer those very phrases, that very felt sense there. And never, it can never be quite as forgotten again. And this is also its beauty, right? It'll never look just like that again, because now you've included it in and doesn't everybody notice? Hasn't everybody noticed like what phrases, where did those go? And also, I notice as surprised when they appear. Has anybody caught that? Like, wow. And then there I was just offering it to the cars and the traffic. Oh, there I was just offering it to the flowers that I saw this morning. I think both are as true, both in our forgetting and in our remembering. I'm being surprised by both, where I just like completely deadened to it by that quality of contracted mind, and where I awaken to it just the next breath. So that's lovely, and congratulations to how lovely that your niece could inspire that. Andy says the phrases show up in my self-talk. Yes, me too, Andy. Let this be easy really slows me down and drains the stress out. Yes, I do notice it as well. I notice the offering it to myself more from the repetitions, and that actually is the point. From there, it'll grow in all the ways that it does. So that's wonderful, delightful. We're going to do this for the month. So let's talk for a fun moment about dose regulation. Now, there's enough of you in healthcare and involved in this to understand dose regulation. We as a people, especially I think in the West here, really want to know what's the minimum that I have to do, dose regulate. What would be the requirement? Like how much every day do I have to do in order for this stuff to stick? So I just like to take some guesses on that. I thought that might be a little bit fun. What do you imagine the dose regulation says? That means how much do you need in order to continue to remember, recollect, and grow metta specifically in your heart mind? Any guesses? What's the minimum dose requirement for dose regulation? We care about this stuff. It's always fascinating. Mike, what's your guess? Got a number? An idea there?
You're muted, Mike.
Let's see. Let's see if we can get Mike unmuted there. Ask him to unmute. What's your guess on dose regulation?
Infinity.
Infinity. Perfect number. The no number.
Moment by moment.
Moment by moment. Yes, actually. And then there's a little bit, with measuring, it's always easy thing. In the absolute sense, isn't it true? Every moment counts. For sure. Every moment matters. Every moment that you can remember, and every moment that you forgot and then remember again. Right? In an absolute sense, there's no doubt about that. And there's actually a little bit of science in this that says, has some specific, anybody else with guesses? Dose regulation. Here's the dose regulation. Okay, one day, one moment, one breath, one phrase would all matter, wouldn't it? Would all matter. If you did it once a day, let's just talk about the sciencey part of this. If you did it once a day, it would have meaning. It would be less likely in dose regulation studies, it would be less likely to be as available as you would want it to be, but it would count is actually also true. But it would not be as available and propagated as you would want it to be, so there's this tipping point. Where does it, so here's the bottom line. The science says so far that every day matters first most. Every day, that somehow in every day that we would put the metta practice and some phrases in is the first consideration, that it happened in an everydayness way, a little bit like our mindfulness practice, right? And we know they're not separate. So every day would be the first consideration in dose regulation. And then beyond the everyday, we know about 9 to 10 minutes of every day of metta practice over the period of a month, which is where it was studied, allowed the metta to continue to grow, expand, and do the things we're talking about, which is, then I found it being offered to myself. Then I found it being offered to the gardener. Then I found it being offered to my husband doing laundry right now. Then the neural circuitry is wired sufficiently, as we know, right? What fires together, wires together, so that it becomes an auto response rather than a got to dig it up out of the bottom of the closet response. Becomes like an automatic opening, an automatic response. 9 to 10 minutes. That is not something I'm making up. Just so
In the
you know.
beginning of my practice many years ago, every time I felt a clench in my stomach, it would pop. So there wasn't, and some days, 50, 100, some days 1 or 2, but the body informs me of when I need to, plug into the meta that's always available and it never
Yes.
goes away. And so
Yes.
I never had to, write down a list. Okay, how many times did I do this today? My body informed me every time it was necessary.
Yes, lovely. The body mind informs, doesn't it? So the mind contracts just like the body, and the mind opens, interestingly as well. And so if you're looking for saturation, I guess I'll use that word, where it is easily accessible, able to be called on beyond certain conditions, becomes unconditionalized. They say notice, and just pay attention to what you're noticing. What I'm noticing, I'll tell you, is that as I have committed with intention to practicing this, there is no doubt that I am, it's very obvious that I am offering it both to myself and to others more. And that I am noticing as well more when I am not doing it, so that I can offer it again and more. And so I have to say, this is what you begin to notice. Just in this little period of repetition, it's availability, it's accessibility, it's expandability, and the fact that I'm even noticing when I'm not doing it, which is a part of what Marie was talking about, which is I just totally forgot it, but now I know I did. And that's mindfulness. And then we offer metta to that, even to the part of me that forgets for a moment, because like Mike said, it's actually always here, not always quite online. That actually takes an extra intentioning, but it is always available, no doubt about it. And with repetition, with practice, we absolutely know that it grows, expands, and becomes more inclusive, even when we notice that we weren't there, that we were in contraction, body, mind, and or heart. And this is really good news. We're going to stay in the everydayness. You're going to decide. And I don't know if counting is so the point. I think the attention is the point. I don't think we have to count, well, I did it then, and so if I could do it for 8 more minutes, I'll have met my criterion. I don't think it's like that. I think it's like invite it for every moment, and then notice for yourself. Where does it hold? Where does it fall? Where do I naturally fall into it? Where don't I? I think this is maybe the point, actually, is that it invites a kind of attention for that. Marie says it was helpful. Good. Yeah, the body will tell us, as will the mind. Contracted, distracted mind is a really important thing to bring awareness to. We know in the repetitions we're more attending, which will help us click in. Thank you, Tanya. She is sending blessings to all mothers. And Andy says, I was prescribed HeartMath by Dr. Garnering to practice breathing compassion into my heart every moment that I felt stress and anxiety. In that practice, it was dozens of times a day. Be careful, it really changed me. Yes, it does. Yes, right in the moment of contraction, as Mike was saying, this is an infinite possibility for opening. Yes, it is right there in the noticing of the contraction itself. Or Guarneri, sure. We love Mimi and know her well. And the truth is it healing? Well, definitively so. Definitively so. No doubt about it. Thank you all for that. I just want to take a moment before I have to click off to say that next Saturday, we will be doing a hybrid version, our first hybrid. I'm a little nervous because I think I need a navigator, a hybrid version of the practice, so that we will be doing the practice here at my home backyard, in the meditation circle or under the eaves, whatever it turns out we most need. If it's raining, of course, we've got under the deck now because that's been rainproofed. Otherwise, we'll be in the meditation circle in the back. I'm at 816 Passiflora. You will be getting a notice, an invitation for that. We are not too concerned right now about over response. We know it will take some time and practice and comfort, and some people don't live here, so they're not going to be in the backyard physically right now. And we're excited that Mike will be with us. I'm going to recommend that you bring a beach chair or something else in case you don't want to sit on the meditation benches. And also we'll give you an opportunity, I think, for a little expanding in case you don't want to be just in that circle. I would dress warmly because really about 7:30 in the morning, it's still a little under 60, probably even next week. Yeah, I know, Mike, right? Yeah, like Ugg boots, parka, the
37 this morning.
37. Well, we're at least 20 degrees warmer, probably. But I want
to be wearing
everybody to be
shorts,
comfortable.
t-shirt.
You're going to be wearing shorts here for sure. You're probably wearing shorts there, right?
No.
So just know that those things, and again, you'll get the invitation. We just want to make sure there's space and room for everyone. We actually know that many people will not be physically present. We'll stay on Zoom, and that's why we're going to go to the hybrid, because we know that's also important and useful. So that's that. So just know next week it's coming, Saturday. You'll get an invitation. It'll be absolute. I'm going to ask that you tell me if you're coming because I want to make sure that we have what we need created so that you're comfortable.
Masks, no masks.
No masks. I don't have a thought about that. I think to get into our seat, a mask probably isn't a bad idea, because I think we're going to be moving close and around each other just for protocol and comfort for people. But once you're in your seat, if you want to remove your mask, I would say we'll do the same as we do with the all day. The all day is the following Saturday, so I will not be here at the house. We will be at Quest Haven. I will be at Quest Haven, and we don't have hybrid opportunities, so I'll be finding someone to lead us on the 22nd Saturday, because I will be at Quest Haven. You are more than welcome to join there. It's just a beautiful day at Quest Haven, and there is a registration for that, as well as some additional monies for the Quest Haven day fee. And you go to encinitasmindfulness.org for that, so that you can sign up if you're interested in that day. In addition, the EMC board has decided that we're going to start making contributions to St. Andrew's Food Bank. We're going to do our first donation in June. You can be dropping off, and there'll be something in the newsletter again about this. You can be dropping off dry food goods. They are not wanting desserty type things. They want staple stuff, beans, rice, canned goods, and you can drop it off. I'll put that back in the newsletter this week at Greg's. I think Carrie is going to have a tub out there. Carrie, is that right?
Yep, I can.
Because it's a little easier to get to Carrie's for some people right off the freeway than to Greg's. Greg's is a little trickier, and also Carrie's a little more south. So we'll make those available, And then they will get distributed on the first Wednesday, I believe it is, and then be distributed to the families on the first Thursday in June. And so we're going to do that right now. I'll be going to a breakfast on Tuesday. Andy is going to be guiding. Thank you, Andy. I don't know if he's still here, but thank you so much. Continuing the metta practice. Andy will be guiding us on Tuesday. I'll be at a breakfast with Jim Flores from the San Diego Food Bank, wanting to hear more about, again, how they distribute foods, what they need, and how we might continue to contribute. Those are just some of what we're doing right now. So with all of that, lovely, Dennis. Anything else before we sign off? I've got to get ready to go because I've got to get on that other Zoom call for right now. So I will look forward to seeing you Monday night. I will be doing a 8 o'clock. We're switching to 8 o'clock. Starting Monday, 8 p.m., no longer 7:30. I will not be here Tuesday, but Andy will. Thursday, I'll be offering 7 a.m. practice for Greg, who's in travel and visiting family and his trailer up north. And then we will be together, both hybrid live with Mike and the rest of the Sangha who can make it here for 7:30 practice on Saturday. Wow. That's a lot of good opportunities for mindfulness and metta practice. And so with all of that, thank you. Placing hands to heart or on the heart, may we all be well. May we all be healthy. And may we all be free from distress. Happy Mother's Day to all. I look forward to seeing you, Mike. Can't wait. Live hug. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And happy hugs to that baby. That sounds super exciting. Very
Can't
happy
wait.
to hear. All right, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. Be well. Blessings to all. Mwah. Love to all. And I'll see you all next week. And Andy, thank you again if you're there for supporting the Sangha and all of us. Good to see you all. Off I go. Next Zoom. Take care, everyone.